Welcome to Sunday School on video. Today we will be learning the stories from session 7 and session 8. And so be sure to read both stories. They really tie together. Today I'm in the garden of my parents in Redding, California, and I wanted to share the beautiful flowers that are here. Just a few months ago, this flower was just a dried up old stick in the ground. But today it's full of life and giving beauty to the world. It reminds me of the Easter story because of the new life that comes forth from something that is dead. The lily, the white lily, is on a sticker in our Sunday school supplies, and we would put that sticker on our chart if we were at Sunday school, and we also would put it on our mural. The white lily gives beauty to the world, and it acts the same way as this flower. It's dead, and then it comes to life. So the lily is an important symbol. In the Easter story, Jesus died and was buried, and his friends buried him in a tomb. But it got dark, and they couldn't stay. They had to go home. And so they planned to come back on Sunday to anoint his body with oil. This was an important part of burying someone and saying goodbye to them. So on Sunday morning, they went to the tomb to anoint him, which was, like I say, very important to them. And they couldn't find the body. The body was gone. And the soldiers had been guarding the body, but they were asleep. And the stone, the great big stone that no one could move on their own, had been rolled away. They looked all over. They were confused. They didn't know what had happened. They were so upset. And they started talking about it. One of his mother went to the tomb, and she saw an angel that told her that Jesus was alive. He was no longer dead. And so she went to tell the disciples, but they couldn't believe that. And so, but other disciples went to the tomb to check also to see what was there, and they found some clues that made them think, is it possible? And they talked some more. They were confused some more, but Jesus came to them eventually and said, look, Mary was telling the truth. I am alive. And today, we have trouble believing this story too, but it's the most important story in the whole Bible. It is why all the other stories are there, is to point the way to the Easter story. So Jesus appeared to many, many people after he died and explained how the men of God had been telling them what would happen if they had been paying attention. And that is why we need to pay attention whenever we have Bible stories. They all point to the Easter story in some way. I hope you will also read the story of the men who were walking on the road to Emmaus and were confused and sad about what had happened to Jesus and how he had died. But then Jesus came, and they didn't recognize him at first, and they talked for hours as they walked to Emmaus. When they got there, Jesus joined them for dinner, and he broke bread, and then all of a sudden they recognized him. It was him, and they hadn't recognized him before. Why do you think that is? We have so many questions about stories in the Bible. Just because we have questions and we don't understand, it doesn't make it not true. It means we need to just think about those stories some more, and Jesus will help us to understand them as we ask him. And some stories, some questions we have are questions for years and years. But I can tell you, boys and girls, that Jesus will continue to answer to help you find answers that make sense to you. Just like he helped the men on the road to Emmaus make sense of what had happened to Jesus. Jesus is alive. Jesus was alive, but it's not just a story. Jesus is alive.